NVIDIA, Pat. I mean, we've been through the earnings wave. NVIDIA has this sort of interesting benefit of coming at the sort of tail end of the tech earnings. And I tend to agree. Everybody's waiting to see what's happened. We've had this kind of really crazy ebb and flow. The economy was going to crash. The Japanese, the yen carry trade was unwinding. We were going to go into a massive recession. The world was ending. And then 2 days later, everyone forgot about it. And now we're back to like, how many GPUs can somebody sell this quarter? Oh, by the way, there were delays, and then there's not delays, and then there's a demand issue, and then there's not a demand issue, and then there's just so much. The regulatory environment's creeping. Pat, here's my take. I did a breakdown. I tweeted this out. I hope
it was so good. It was so good. I think you and I spent 25 minutes on the flight. Me asking you questions, and I'm like, where did this come from? It was so good.
Well, let's hit it. Let's start with where it came from. I mean, look, I saw this note that came out from Unusual Whales. It's a great account on Twitter, by the way, one that I like to follow. And it came out talking about how the implied volatility, which basically means what is going to happen upon its earnings announcement, is like the largest it's been in 10 quarters for NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has always been a bit of a firebrand in that way, like where it's, earnings, even back in its gaming days, it was just volatile. If you look at years, like I looked at like 20 years, it's not a company that went up and down 10%. It was like a company was up 200%, then down 70%, then up 300%. There was just crazy numbers over the years. So the movement on this company has been pretty crazy. AI has totally changed it now. Like it went from a gaming dominant company to like data centers like 10 times the size, if not more, of its gaming business now. And it happened really quickly. So there's this huge volatility, which basically means there's kind of this bearish and bullish thought that it's either going to blow it out and it's going to go parabolic up, or it's going to have like a surprise. And by the way, it may still blow it out and have a surprise just in something it says about demand, or something it's going to say about, issues in manufacturing supply. We've heard rumblings, but it seems like they've got most of their stuff in order. They've got this annual cadence right now, but here's the long and short, Pat. The market's waiting, and it's on pins and needles, because this is AI moving forward trade. And all the BS from the bubble bears that I like to talk about AI is the ingestion period of when AI starts to find its way into applications and into industry. No one cares right now, because if these 5 companies keep spending hundreds of billions on CapEx, that will fuel the near term. So the next 2, 3, 4 quarters, I think, are really bullish for NVIDIA. First off, they can't meet supply. One of the rumors that came out this week, across the internet, was that basically OpenAI, and we'll actually back this further with other rumors we heard this week, is struggling to get enough GPU demand right now. And that, beyond obviously Microsoft and Google and some of the biggest buyers on the CapEx side, but that Meta and XAI, Tesla, and others have basically caused OpenAI some indigestion as it relates to getting enough GPU. The second is, Pat, you and I can read the tea leaves. TSMC's numbers pretty much gave us the clear, all clear. You've got more demand for 3 nanometer, more demand for CoWoS than they can make. And it was pretty well understood that most of that demand is going to NVIDIA. And so they're taking most of that demand, which means they are basically going to pump out every single GPU they can make in this period of time. Third is that, Pat, you and I, we've talked to our channel partners, channel checks across the board. All of our partners are they're all lusting for more supply. They're all trying to get their hand, basically saying they can sell everything they can get their hands on. Now, there's still a lot of kind of consternation in the channels about their ability to make money, but this is what the customers want. So the pull through has been undeniably powerful. The annual upgrade cycle, Pat, he's gone to a year. We're seeing AMD doing the same thing. The 1 year cycle is real. And every company is going to be forced into doing this to some extent, because they won't be able to keep up. So if Google goes all in on Grace Blackwell and on the B series, Amazon can't be like, no, we're not going to offer the best chip. They're going to have to. So it's going to create this kind of pull. And then finally, Pat, I think I shared, but we're starting to see end customer use cases come, which is even more of a bullish trigger, because like Walmart's really strong earnings. Now, again, retail, we're not going to dig into too many broad macro topics, but retail, Pat, outperformed this week, but I think it outperformed because pricing and inflation numbers are high, which kept revenue numbers high. But these companies are coming out talking about AI. So Walmart talked about massive efficiency gains with AI. And of course, if there's massive efficiency gains with AI and companies like Walmart are investing big, you can bet those big investments are going through NVIDIA.
Great breakdown, Dan. Super impressive. And like I said, it was fun actually talking about your one tweet for 25 minutes.
I don't do that often, but thank you.
No, it's good stuff. And listen, you did comprehensive. I'm going to do simple. There is nothing that's going to be stopping this train short term, albeit a complete and total economic collapse. And the reason is FOMO. As an IaaS provider, you cannot even blink on the amount of CapEx you're going to be spending in the next 12 and maybe 18 months. And the only thing that's going to keep that happening is going to be investor pressure. I don't think they will get any investor pressure unless they have super declines in their core business, like Google Ads, like AWS, Microsoft. And therefore, they're going to keep cranking it out because the stakes are high. I mean, we could look at 10, 20, 30 years of dominance if one of these companies pulls away from the pack. And, you know, your Walmart example was really good as a downstream. And yes, over time, you have to have the ServiceNows, the SAPs, the app stacks at Microsoft, the app stacks at Google, even Google finding ways to better target their advertisers via generative AI. Until then, it's the internet build out, baby. NVIDIA is the new Cisco. And what I don't see is you know, pet food companies and hardware tool companies that have no business model selling stuff. A lot of the downside beneficiaries are very large companies.